Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Chasing Psychological Safety. Today, we're coming back to the topic of the team versus the organization, and we're coming back to the topic of human debt and the needs of the team and the needs of the organization. All of these have been attacked in yesterday's article to a degree, and we're going to remind you of some of them today and try and kind of demystify what we meant with a couple of these topics.
Yeah, absolutely. So starting with that idea of the organization, anybody who's read our articles, seen our videos, will know that as a team and as a company, we really don't think that the organization has as much impact on psychological safety as lots of organizations think they do. We essentially see that the organization is about as real as Santa in the context of performance, and where we really believe the focus needs to be in order to build psychologically safe cultures and build high performance cultures is at the team level. Fantastic if that is supported at the executive level by executive sponsors and board level. But what we need to then happen for this to become real is for the focus to be at the team level. That's where the magic happens, and that's where team by team we can build a fantastic organizational culture.
Exactly. And to do that, as usual, we need to have psychological safety. We'll say that until that will be on my epitaph. And to get psychological safety, what we say is you have three most important steps, and those things you have to do. Without them, you can't get any psychological safety. Number one is understand it, raise awareness, ensure that everyone really gets it, really has that moment of aha, where they all are on board with what it really means and what it has meant to them over their work practice. So number one, understand it. Number two, measure it, get that data. In the absence of that data, no matter how much we don't like measuring, no matter how loath we are to ask, no matter how iffy we are about feedback loops, unless we get the data, we can't reinforce the habit of continuously creating more of it. And lastly, improve it and make sure you get more of it and better it as a team together. So those three things are, again, understand psychological safety, measure psychological safety, and improve psychological safety.
So following on from that, we've got a few items that we wanted to talk out on this video on what are the factors that aren't psychological safety. The first of those would be job security. Particularly in the last 12 months, that has been a concern for lots of people, and that confusion can be easily found in teams. You know, I'm worried about my job security, so I don't feel psychologically safe, but the two are not the same thing. Psychological safety is not feeling safe in my job and knowing I'm going to have a job for a long time. First of all, we know ain't no company out there going to guarantee you that anymore. Secondly, psychological safety is a skill, a set of behaviors, something that operates and exists at the group level, that if you've got it, is even better than job security. It's something that gives you a confidence and a belief in where you are right now and what you're doing right now that goes beyond that. So really, we're saying job security is important to people, and we completely understand and respect that, but it's not the same thing as psychological safety. That's about focusing on the here and now and working with your team to be the very best you can be, whatever the future holds. Then following on from that, one that we talk about sometimes, but is so important, and again, is always important, but particularly important at the moment, and becoming of increasing importance to organizations, which is the same thing we're seeing happening with psychological safety. So there is a similarity to be drawn there, and that is mental health. However, there's a fundamental difference. We absolutely believe that mental health is the business of the business, and you really, please, should be focusing on that for your people at the moment. But they're two different things. Mental health is about the individual. It's about their resilience, their personal resilience in the workplace. Psychological safety is about the health of the team in the workplace. It's about driving high performance, team health and security, and that feeling of safety within the team context. It is a group behavioral norm. So the two things are really important. Often the lines are blurred between the two by people, but if we can focus on the two as separate things, then we're really going to be doing the right thing by our people.
Exactly. And those two are only a couple of examples of the many, many topics which have been if you wish, lying in the belly of the organization, waiting for their moment. We talk about this often, and we did in yesterday's article, this concept of human debt, of all the things that we have left on the table from a people perspective in an organization, and we haven't really driven them to a natural, elegant conclusion where they are off the table as a problem, whether they have to do with engagement, whether they have to do with respect, whether they are the big conversational topics and the dialogue that we've never taken from a societal point of view, from an employee point of view, from a meaning of work and outcomes and agile and new ways of work point of view. All of those big themes which we have never really clarified or driven home, your diversity and inclusion topics, your resilience topics, everything to do with happy and healthy employees. All of those make up the needs from the human debt. And the two that Fionn was earlier mentioning, the job security, which we all need to have, and mental health, which we all absolutely need to have, are two examples of that. But they all kind of wait for psychological safety as a concept that's now taking good hold of enterprise to kind of piggyback and ride towards becoming important, which is completely understandable. But at the same time, we would be doing any of these any of these topics a disservice if we didn't clearly separate them and clearly say this is an important topic and the need part of the human debt needs being dealt with, and this is psychological safety and what it does for the team. Thank you for listening to us, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. Bye.